All right, this is a continuation of my last live because I got a call, although it was on D&D, but I have my mom on D&D and her call came through. But now, anywho, I'm back. I forgot where I was at. I think I was trying to say that that person that was trying to ask me a question didn't have no real context because they were trying to make me answer. She were trying to make me answer a question, but didn't give me enough context. It was basically just asking, if you're managing people but you're not on the same page, what would you do? First of all, I need to know more details. I need to know, what page are we supposed to be on? What's the environment like? Like, I need details so that I can picture the entire, so I can see the entire system, like so I can see the whole picture, and then I'll be able to collect my thoughts and give you a proper answer based on something that I would do. But in order for me to do anything, I would first need to know the what, the why, the how, who, what, where. Like, I need it. I need details. Okay, that's just how my brain functions. But to continue, I was just going over my personal S, and if you didn't catch that, it's on the other live that ended. I was on my non-negotiables principle that I did that. I have failure conditions on this one. It says forcing linear paths. That are my failure conditions. Forcing linear paths, saying yes from guilt, comparing myself to standard timelines, or staying where my mind feels constrained. When stuck, I redesigned. I don't quit. And then my operating statement. Oh, hi, you're back. But yeah, it's because I had got a call, but it's on. No one can call me right now. So my operating statement is, I am not here to fit into systems. I am here to build systems that fit me. What my life is designed around how my mind works, clarity replaces confusion and effort turns into momentum. So that's basically a wrap up of my personal OS. I'm not going to reach out my cognitive resume because that's a little too much. But basically, one of the most accomplishment for me this week was definitely getting to know how my mind works, and that has shifted my whole life. Like, in just 7 days, I've done so much. Okay, I've done so much. Like, right here, I mentioned my degree, right? I'm an environmental science major, right? So I went on, like, this is literally the first week of school. What happens when your OS crashes? My OS won't crash. It won't crash because I know how my system works. Does it make sense? If you know how something works, if you know yourself, you know what triggers you, what doesn't. You know how to move forward, when to move forward, when to take a step back, when to take time alone, when to engage, when to not engage, when to disassociate. When you know yourself so well, you know what to do for each situation. So there's no crashing in that sense. Salam. Please stop talking to me. I just came from the gym, and this is my channel. I'm not naked. I literally have, this is a gym fit. Take it or leave it. Anyways, moving on. I'm not apologizing for showing up. This is me. Take it or leave it. I'm not hiding. I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. This is my channel. Hello. So yeah, back to my people. People are hilarious. Just because I'm on live talk, I'm gonna address that. First of all, I'm not gonna let that go by. This is my life. How about that? I go to the gym in shorts and sports bras. I go there to, yeah. This is for my own development, not yours. I work for whatever. I work for my body. I work for my mind. The way I show up externally don't define me. So chew on that, people. Chew on that. Where people trigger you. So what's your plan? Based on the situation, based on the location, the environment. A lot of factors play. See, just because something triggers me do not mean it gets a reaction out of me. If that makes sense. I am someone who sits on her emotions before expressing them. So if I'm talking to you about something I felt prior, it's because I already processed them. I don't show up, I don't react based off emotion. No matter how angry I am, you would never know. I am very self-aware, very collective. I've done a lot of internal work. So there's no triggering me and making me react to you just how you want me to be, like, right? Because I'm very cool, calm, and collected. But I can go there with you, right? When you try me, I'm gonna go there, right? But it's not a. I know how to reframe myself. Like, if I know I need to remove myself because of the environment we're in, I'm gonna do so. But if we're at a place where I feel like, shoot, you wanna, is a different story. That's why I said environment, location, place, time, all that plays into effect before I react to anything. That wasn't triggering. That was me being assertive. This is my channel, and I wanted to make that known. I'm not angry about it. I'm not upset. So that's something I already pre-processed. Like, this is not the first time I hear that. So I'm not, what I mean? This is not the first time I hear that. People always have something to say, but again, y'all y'all hiding behind a screen. I'm showing y'all who I am, point blank, period. There's no hiding when it comes to me. So I didn't show anger. I didn't show any negative reaction. I showed y'all someone who knows herself and who's sure of who I am. And I like to when people come at me like that, I just like to let them know that your opinion don't matter to me, as far as like it doesn't affect me. It doesn't make me change who I am just because you said this. Oh my god, like, that's what I showed. I didn't show anything outside of that. Well, first you have to learn how to manage yourself before you try to manage anything outside of you. You have to be able to be aware of who you are internally. That way your external can reflect that rather than from the outside in, because you can control something. It's kind of like trying to love someone else when you really don't love yourself. You really don't know how to love. How can you properly, correctly love someone else if you don't properly and fully understand or love yourself? Same concept. You can't manage someone if you can't control yourself. Okay, so back to topic, because we've been on topic. Back to topic. Okay, for my notes, let me go to my notes. So I've learned about focusing on my why, being more, having more meaning, not discipline, right? Because essentially the meaning's gonna outweigh discipline. Like, if I have a reason on why I'm doing something, I learned that I'm going to do it because I'm driven by my desire to do it, not because I have to force myself to do it. Discipline is more of something you force upon yourself, and I don't force myself to do anything I don't want to do. So you don't have to agree to everything I say. I mean, you're not my yes man. I don't think that's what you're supposed to say. But I mean, you don't always gonna agree with people you work with, people you live with. That's just life. You have your point of view, I have mine. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, what else? Fast, doing work your brain don't want to do. Say discipline for things that. Oh, I said save discipline for things that live inside of my life of meaning. And I like to know the why before I know the what. Because if the why has meaning, if the why catches my attention, my interest, if the why aligns with me, who I am or who I'm becoming, then the what it's gonna align with me too. So tell me the why. I like to understand first. I also learned about my cognitive niche this week. I learned what type of mind I have. I learned stuff about like God, more spiritual, like more grounding. What are y'all talking about here? Okay. Oh, to avoid burnout, I learned that to do things that align with me, right? To avoid burnout, to be intentional. And the definition of being intentional is basically to be intentional is to aiming for your goals, achievements, what you actually naturally desire, doing things that are meaningful so that you can become more successful, because you are doing things in accordance to your mind, which give you leverage, and that leverage allows you to, what did I write? To produce more success, more wealth, and more power over time. Getting into flow, basically meaning to align with your intentions. And aligning your intentions with your attention. Align your intentions with your attention, and then align your attention with your actions, basically. To build a life around your mind. I'm reading over my notes that I wrote for this week. Kind of like skim through them. I don't want to read verbatim or line for line because it's a lot. But I basically had a dossier file done on myself. And I learned, that's how I learned my mind. I was able to learn my mind because of that. And that happened in a span of a day. Like, if you invest your time wisely, if you be intentional with your time and what you want to do, you can accomplish so much. Eliminate distractions completely. Take it away. Anything that a TV, unplug it, put it in your freaking storage. If you're someone who can't function without your phone, put it on D&D and leave it in your car while you do some productive stuff inside. Go outside on a walk. Leave your phone in a car, in a house. Right? Unplug your game. Right? Do some. You have to put effort to get rid of the things that's holding you back. Because 9 times out of 10, we know what's holding us back. We know what isn't aligning with us. We know what isn't benefiting us. It's just we don't have the willpower to make a change. And that's what a lot of people are lacking. Willpower. Do you really do? A lot of people like to talk and say they want something, but don't do nothing towards it. You say you wanna make a movie. Well, what did you do to have a movie? Make the movie. Did you hire actors? Do you have the script of the movie? Like, what do you? You can just say you want something and not work towards it, because it's not gonna come to you. That's just beyond logical. Beyond the logic. What else? Let me read another part of the note. Oh, nothing about me is random. Everything about me has a pattern. I'm pattern-based. I'm system-based by design. So I don't do nothing without intention, without meaning, without a why. If I'm doing something, if I'm somewhere, it's a reason behind it. I don't just do things just because, well, I came here just because. No, not me. That's not how I function. I learned that your stream of thought becomes your stream of income. That was really powerful. I also learned that my mind doesn't think linear. I don't only like to focus on just one thing at once, because I see myself as someone who is expansive and innovative. So doing multiple things that aligns to who I am and my goals in life makes more sense to me, and also helps increase my productivity. That's just how I function. If I can multitask only when I'm interested in the tasks. You know what I mean? But if it's just something that people want me to do, or something that just really don't have no meaning, I'm going to do a horrible job at it. And 9 times out of 10, none of them are going to get done, because they don't matter. I learned a lot about history too. I learned about time, about how we have a certain perspective on time. About how people in Asian Kemet and Africa, how they see time, how they perceive time. I found really good philosophers this week, like John Mbidi. He's a philosopher on African concept of time and the problem of development. I'm gonna read you a quote because this is very, very important. He said, Every concept of development, while not taking the past for granted, must focus on the future and the quality use of time. While Africans are more concerned on how Europe underdeveloped Africa, what is it? Well, they're more concerned on how Europe underdeveloped Africa than how they are themselves destroying the future through corruption, violence, sectionalism, poor leadership. More concerned on what happened to them versus how they using their time beneficially right now, right? Because they said that for everything that slavery did, we can give ourselves reparations and corrections. For every institution and system that was set up, we can set up another one, right? It's just about how you utilize your time, how you maximize what you put your energy into. Scrolling on your phone all day is not going to give you that. Drinking every weekend is not going to give you that. Spending money on stupid stuff not going to give you that. Linear thinking isn't going to give you that. You have to think expansive. You have to think like you can take over the world. You have to think that you can make that change. That you are here for a change. You know what I mean? Like for impact. Also learn about family dynamics. Family dynamics is very important, especially in our population, our society. They said that, well, I wrote down earlier, that was actually this morning when I first woke up. I started my day at 6 in the morning. And I took some notes and I said, when time is solved, well, I didn't say it. 19 Keys said it, but I just took notes. So he said, when time is solved in your family has a future. Family is supposed to be an institution that allows you to travel through time. That is how you make a legacy. That is how you do, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Generational wealth. Okay, that's how you build generational wealth. You have to first be able to see the future, envision it, and feel it. You have to connect. You have to find some emotional connection to a future in order to be able to build towards it. But majority of people have a strong connection, an emotional connection to their past, to things that happened to them, to what they've been through, that they can no longer see 10, 15, 20, even 5, 3 years ahead. They're only so stuck in today and all the years before today. And they can only witness time only in short terms, like into like tomorrow, next week, because you're attaching, let's say you have to pay a bill on the 12th every month, so you only look forward to that. You owe this person money, so you're looking forward to Friday to pay that person back. So you attaching time to short-term futures that really don't compound to anything, rather than pushing forward, rather than looking at life, right? Rather than looking at your future as a tangible thing. Because this question that we all need to ask ourselves, do the population see the future as real? Do you see the future as a real, stable, and worth investing into thing, right? And do you see yourself owning the future, being part of a society that owns the future, being part of a tribe, a group that owns the future? Do you see yourself there? If the answer is no, then you are already living wrong, and you need to change that. If there is no externalized plan, then there is no future. Also learned today, it was a good quote. He said, "The devil is a good planner, but God is the best of planners." I laughed. I chuckled when he said that. I was like, oh, that's very accurate. So that was just a little bit of what I've learned this week. Also been educating myself on living life after death. I believe that there is no death spiritually, right? Because our spirits are always alive. We transcend, we ascend. We don't die. our vessel dies, our physical body dies, but we are energy. So energy can't die. We transcend, we move on to different realms, dimensions, etc. But life is always eternal. I feel like life, period, is eternal. You're always alive. And when they talk about ancestors, I watched freaking add a credit sticker. Oh, that's something else. I was watching Avatar yesterday with my nieces and nephews, and I was explaining to them that when was the older son died, and they put him at the bottom of the ocean where the tree of life is, where all the ancestors are and have been, right? How they just kind of like hugged him, and he became one with the tree of life, with everyone that's ever been there. How he just became energy. He still is alive, because when they connected, right, he was still able to go see his son. His son was there. He just wasn't in the same room as them. But if they go make that connection, they could always still be like, if they make the connection, they can still go see everyone that's ever been there, basically, because he's technically never, he's not dead. His vessel simply just no longer walks the earth. Does that make sense? I also learned that everybody has something to teach you, whether they come in your life for a short period of time, a long period of time, and then you realize, oh, this person's not for me. But really, you been knew that. I feel like if 10 years passed and then you just now realize that this person wasn't good for you, the issue wasn't them. I think it was you, because there's no way it took you 10 years to know something wasn't good for you. No way. You ignored signs. You ignore intuition. you were forcing yourself to believe a reality that wasn't present. Therefore, you were being delusional on purpose. You know, humans tend to cling onto things, to other people, right? For support, for sustainability, for happiness, right? People become so dependent on someone else for something that they should be able to do for themselves. Like when people get in a relationship, they get in a relationship just because, like, oh, this person's supposed to make me happy. I married you. No, you're supposed to be you're supposed to make yourself happy. You're supposed to be able to be happy on your own first. That when you do get in a relationship with someone, they are just a reflection of that, not a freaking a lie. How do I put that? When you get in a relationship with someone, they're supposed to y'all supposed to compliment each other, not take from each other. That makes sense. So why do most women? I'm not most women. I can't answer that for the majority of the world, but it's just what people believe. People that don't, I can't answer that actually, but not just for women, because women aren't the only one that do that. You said, why must women make that mistake, as if only women make that mistake. How about you should have worded, why do most people in general, because men and women do the same thing, why do they make that mistake? But that's because they lack knowledge of self. They don't know they don't know their person. I'm gonna bring that back. They don't know their personal OS. No, for real. But they don't understand themselves. They don't love themselves. They aren't happy within themselves. So they seek that externally. They seek that validation from someone else, from outside sources. And that's chaotic, especially in a relationship. Because I've been in a relationship where I was basically like, I was expected to make someone happy. And I'm like, I don't expect you to make me happy, because I know I can go out to the park and be happy. I know what to do to make myself happy outside of you, outside of this relationship. So I am not dependent on that. If that Well, I know that makes sense. I'm not going to ask that again. But majority of people can't do that. They don't know themselves well enough to even be able to answer their own question. What makes me happy? What do I like? What do I dislike? You know what I mean? People can't do that. If you can answer your own questions, then how do you expect to coexist joyfully in harmony with someone else? But I'm not gonna be here too much longer, honestly. I'm also I've educated myself this week on food systems. I kind of touched bases on the previous live before this one that ended because of a call. Like, if you go back and watch that one, it kind of tells you a rundown of everything I've learned. Oh, this is a word that I learned. It's called hyperfrontality. It's basically a cognitive deficit where the brain has been robbed, where you need so much dopamine and stimulation for you to feel anything, which makes it harder when connecting emotions to the future and it's not hyperstimulated. I also wrote, I should have got some water. I wrote that if you do not have focus, you will not win no matter how much potential you may have. I don't know if y'all read Outwitting the Devil, but that book says that the devil's job is basically to keep God's people distracted, right? And that's when I touched bases early on decreasing distractibility. Remove everything in your environment that can distract you. Like, you have to make that effort. You have to be willing to make that effort, to make a change if you want to be anything. Because this is a new... People, I don't know how y'all perceive time or perceive the new year. But to put it in context in a way that globally could be understood, a new year, that new year, new me, make that mean something. Stand for something. People have new year resolutions, and after 2 months in the year, y'all done quit. How do you expect to have anything or be anything if you're always quitting? When things get hard, when things don't go your way, when you forcing yourself into a system that doesn't work. Find something that works for you. Your mind is not just... Your mind and my mind are not the same. Your mind and your daughter's mind is not the same. Your mom's mind, your dad's mind, your mind. Like, everyone has different minds. We all think differently. We perceive the world differently. No one person sees the world the exact same. Therefore, forcing yourself into a system that only sees the world in one way doesn't make sense. It's not aligning. It's going to cause distortion and chaos within you. It's going to bring confusion, and then you're going to seek validation from something temporarily rather than thinking long term. You have to find value, find meaning in your day-to-day. This week alone, like, I've been very disciplined, right? And earlier I said that, well, yeah, it is discipline in a sense, because I'm like, I have to put my alarm to wake up at this time, because if I don't put my alarm, I'm not going to wake up at that time. So that's, yeah, so I will say discipline. So I've been disciplined to wake up at 6 in the morning every day. This is my 7th day in a row. I wake up, drink my mushroom coffee, watch a video for my self-development, take notes, reflect on those notes, and see where I'm going to apply those notes in my life, and then I attack my day. Go to the gym if I gotta go to the gym, do stuff for my brand, for my business. Then I make content, post content, right? Everything that aligns with what I want to do with my brand. I do my research, right? If I have assignments, do assignments, and so forth. But I've been to, not dates this week, because I'm not going to call them dates, but I had some like coffee with friends. I had lunch with friends this week, and but it's funny because when I have coffee with a friend, have lunch with a friend, we are talking about futuristic plans. Like, I'm asking questions, they're asking questions, we're engaging, we are stimulating each other's mind. We are having meaningful conversation, which is why I'm there. You know what I mean? I'm there to have meaningful. I'm here to find value in my time that I'm willing to spend with someone else. So if I'm there, I'm asking you questions, and we're not aligning, or if we're just interacting and I see like, okay, it's not a good fit or whatever, then I'm not gonna be there long. But I did come for the experience, right? To see, to try to find a value or meaning behind this relationship, friendship, etc. But the one at the coffee shop went extremely, extremely well because we sat and talked for like 4 hours. We got there at 1. We didn't leave like 5 something. So we talk a lot. It was very productive, very intriguing, it was very meaningful, for sure, very insightful. He taught me a lot. I learned a lot. I taught them a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I love to see others' perspective. I love communication. I just don't enjoy small talk. So I don't answer DMs. I'm not into that. What do you want? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's not aiding me long term, I don't need it. I don't want it. There's no need for us to converse. There's no need for us to even be, you know, like, I stopped just following people just for the followers. Like, if someone isn't adding, I don't want to see that on my timeline. Not that I be on social media that much to even be like finding people on timeline, but like, someone follows me, I click their profile, I see there's nothing like intrigues me about it. There's nothing beneficial. There's nothing influential. There's nothing inspiring about it. There's no follow backs. Like, I don't think I'm a celebrity or nothing. I just value my time. So let's say I do want to get on social media and give myself about 5 minutes to scroll or something, then I like to see something that was gonna help me or inspire me and motivate me even further. Not something that's gonna take away from me or distract me in a negative negative light. But I'm in my parents' room in their home, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave. But I'm gonna try to do this every week, give you guys some reflection of everything I've learned, because I absorb a lot of information, and I don't like to just keep it for myself. So generally, I would like for you guys to just know a little bit of insight, or just really just expand or stimulate your mind, give you guys something to think about later, etc. So, appreciate y'all for being here, for showing up, and I hope you guys got some insight on anything. Like I said, I have this live and the one that cut off, which also is about 20 minutes long. Find some time to watch that as well, and I will see y'all next week. Let me try.